Okay, boss of YouTube, 6ftHax here. Have for you guys today a Wi-Fi battle. Of course, I uploaded a live one yesterday. Actually, if you guys are interested in that, then y'all can go check it out. And just want to give a quick thanks to everybody who has wished me a happy birthday today on Twitter and on Discord. For those of you who may not be aware, I turned 23 today, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty old to be honest with you guys. But yeah, this battle turned out to be pretty fun and close. It was against Omega Espeon, I think. Oh no, Omega Esper, I think. No, Meowstic. See, I don't even know my Pokemon at this point. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer arm that like button down below. So going into this game, Choice Banded Scizor is absolutely terrifying to his team. Unfortunately though, I don't really have a safe switch into Primarina, and then Nidoking can also be absolutely terrifying to deal with. This is a pretty cool team I got off of Harris's Discord. So I am going to be leading off with my Scizor, as he's going to be leading off with the Azoth. I honestly thought that maybe he was going to lead off with the Krookodile, but because he led off with Azoth, and typically Azoth tend to be suicide leads most of the times from what I've seen, I decided to just go straight for the Bullet Punch, thinking he would just go for the rocks, but he switches into Nidoking, and I do a clean 80% to that, which is kind of insane. So as in comes the Krookodile, even after the Intimidate, this is still going to do a solid 35, almost 40% to Krookodile on the switch in, which is great because being able to weaken his team so early on in this battle is going to give me a good advantage. Now I don't want to stay in and lose my choice band here, so I'm going to switch out into my Rotom Wash. There was also the chance that he was just going to try and get up a Stealth Rocks if he doesn't have rocks on the Azoth, as he makes a good double switch into his Primarina here. This is fine because if he's timid, then I can live a hit. If he's modest, I still live a hit, and not only do I live, but I also outspeed. So by going for the Will-O-Wisp, I can get off a little bit of chip damage and then take the Moonblast and go for a Pain Split to further weaken this Primarina. But he ends up getting a crit. That crit definitely did matter. Was it game changing? No, but it definitely does suck because now this Primarina is still at a very high amount of HP. I guess at least burning it, I can get off little bits of chip damage every turn. So I'm gonna bring in my Nidoking here, trying to scare him out because his real best switch into my Nidoking is the Latios. I guess in hindsight, I could have honestly just gone straight for the Ice Beam because even doubling into my Weavile was a little bit risky if he did just stay in with the Primarina. But by doubling into my Weavile, expecting his Latios to come in, I can maybe play the Pursuit Mind Games, although this Weavile does not have Pursuit. He does not even fear that because he just switches directly on out into the Primarina. I was really hoping he would stay in, thinking that I would go for the Pursuit and be able to knock him out. If I had Pursuit and I did go for it, then I would have been able to knock him out. But it's fine because I'm still able to at least get off some damage on the incoming Primarina. I'm going to switch directly into my Scizor in hopes that he would go for the Moonblast because, again, realistically, I don't have a switch into this Primarina. My best bet is to hope that he doesn't catch me with a Scald or a Hydro Pump as I switched into my Scizor, which he didn't. He actually doubled out into the Krookodile. I'm not sure what he expected. Maybe he thought I would try to bring in my Nidoking to sack it off because Nidoking really isn't doing anything in this battle. But either way, I'm just going to stay in here and I'm going to go for the U-turn and try to claim a kill. If he wants to go for the Earthquake, I can live it. If he wants to go for the knockoff, I can live it as well. And I should still be able to knock him out with the U-turn. But he actually ends up going for the Stealth Rocks, which means I keep my choice band, which means Scizor is still a humongous threat to his team. The only things I need to weaken at this point are Azoth, which I can get up rocks and I can force it in and out twice. It's in range of an Adamant Choice Banded Bullet Punch, and then I just have to get off a little bit of chip damage and put Latios at about 60%, I believe, if he's not running any HP investment. So as I brought in my Cobalion, he brought in the Azoth. I don't want to take a potential Fire Blast, so I'm going to switch directly into my Latios here, as he actually just ends up going for the Side Shock, and I really wished I had stayed in, man. I really wish I had stayed in and tried to get up my Stealth Rocks, but it's actually better that I did switch out here, as you guys will see. So I'm going to end up going for the Roost here, just scouting out to see what super effective move he had to hit my Latios with, because by going for the Roost, I should be able to Roost out of range of where he can Tilt KO me after he reveals the Ice type move or Shadow Ball or like Signal Beam, I guess. I guess there is a chance that he might have had the U-turn now that I think about it. So I guess here roosting was a pretty solid play as he hard switches directly into the Weavile. Now he's playing the mind games on whether or not I'm going to stay in, fearing the Pursuit, but because I believe I can actually live a Pursuit on the switch, I'm going to go ahead and switch out and out of here. And even if I didn't live, I could have saved my Latios for sack barter to that Primarina, potentially giving me a free switch into something like my Nidoking or my Scizor. And I actually tried to sack off my Nidoking to the Weavile because Nidoking really isn't doing anything, but he made a good double switch into the Azelf, and now I'm fearing him potentially just going straight for the Psychic. So on the off chance that he does go for the Psychic, I'm going to switch directly back into my Mega Latios here, as he actually ends up going for the Shadow Ball, which thankfully will not be able to 2-hit KO me. So on the off chance that he did want to stay in here, I'm going to decide to go for the Defog, because so long as these Stealth Rocks are up and I don't have rocks on his side of the field, he's going to be in an advantage in this battle. So at least by going for the Defog, I can make it an even playing field again. That way I'm not being punished every time I switch in and out, as where he's not being punished every time he switches in and out. So I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt here. Thunderbolt should put him in range of where Burn will knock him out, but I get a little bit of justice here for my Rotom Wash, and I crit him back. That crit only mattered if he was max HP and I got a min to low roll, so there was still a good chance I might have been able to knock him out there, but he then would have been able to finish off my Latios, which I'm going to stack off to this Weavile anyways, as he actually ended up misclicking here on the Ice Shard. Now that misclick doesn't really end up mattering, as you guys will see later in this battle. Yeah, I get off a little bit of chip damage on the Weavile, but it's really not that important in the slightest, as he's going to knock me out with the Night Slash. Not sure why he's got Night Slash. Definitely think knockoff is much better. I'm guessing just because of, actually I think maybe knockoff does less damage than Night Slash to Latios, now that I think about it. I don't know, I'm not sure. Either way though, I do get a free switch into my Cobalion here, which is going to be really nice because there's no chance he's going to stay in here. Even if he's got the low kick, I'd live a hit and then I could just knock him out. So I'm going to predict him to switch out, most likely wanting to sack off his Nidoking here because it is very low and it's also really not doing much else in this battle. So I do get up my rocks here for free, putting me in an advantageous position, which is really great because now he's going to be taking chip damage every time he switches in and out, and I am no longer going to be able to take that chip damage because unless he's got rocks on his Azelf, he doesn't have any more Stealth Rockers on his team. So he's going to end up bringing the Azelf here, and I decided just to sack off my Cobalion because at this point I don't outspeed anything that he's got left. I've already got out my rocks. The best I can do is just try to weaken this Azelf and guarantee a KO with the Bullet Punch coming from my Scizor, which at this point will be able to win me the game. All I have to do is just get off Stealth Rock's damage on the Latios and about an extra 20-25% to guarantee the KO with the Bullet Punch. So I'm going to go ahead, just go for the all-out pummeling here because I'm not going to waste it on anything else, and it does more damage than Iron Head to this Azelf anyways, as he's actually going to just go for the Energy Ball again. This is where it finally clicked in my mind, okay, this thing has got to be choiced in some way. It's not Specs because it's not doing a lot of damage, so it's most likely Scarfed, or he's just trying to really bluff that he doesn't have the Fire Blast to guarantee that he can knock me out, but he just goes for the Energy Ball again as I go for the Sword Dance. And the main reason I went for Sword Dance was because by going for the Sword Dance, I prevent that Latios from being able to just really calm mind against me, and if he had the Polar Bear, which is very unlikely, then Weavile might have been able to knock him out, and I could have also potentially missed Icicle Crash, which I wanted to try and avoid that scenario. So by Swords Dancing, I can punish this Latios if he is going to turn out to be a setup variant, as he actually does end up bringing the Latios. Turns out that he's Mega Latios, which is slightly annoying because now he is going to be able to potentially knock my Scizor out with the Hidden Power Fire. So what I have to do here is bring in my Weavile, because at this point I don't know what offensive moves this Latios is carrying outside of Psychic, and I really don't want to risk my Scizor if he does have the Hidden Power Fire. So by bringing in my Weavile, I can go for the knockoff. As he knocks me out, I then bring in Scizor, just click Bullet Punch, and I win. But he's actually going to switch out into his Weavile here, and I will be able to knock him out with the knockoff. Now let's say he didn't misclick earlier and I didn't get off the damage and he did end up living this hit. Then that means I would have most likely just sacked off my Nidoking, and then that would have given me a potential free switch into my Scizor to then go for the U-turn or just go for the Bullet Punch again. Or I could have also just brought in my Weavile. If he was in range of Ice Shard, I definitely would have brought in Weavile to knock him out with the Ice Shard. So yeah, again, really don't think that misclick ends up mattering too much, as in comes the Mega Latios. If he's max HP, I think he actually could have lived this knockoff, but then he would have guaranteed been in range of the Bullet Punch from my Scizor. So yeah, that crit also does not matter too much. It just changed the score from a 3-0, from a 2-0, sorry, to a 3-0. So yeah, good game to Omega Esper. Why do I keep saying that? Omega Meowstic. He did make some really good plays early on in the battle, man. Those doubles really kept me on my toes. But Scizor, man, Scizor, it honestly did so much more than I was expecting it to do. Like at team preview, you can see it's a big threat, but still, Choice Band with Scizor hits absurdly hard, man. Good lord. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to hammer arm that like button down below. Do you have a birthday in September? I don't know. Let me know. Maybe we have the same birthday. I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. So later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.